Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world, or as I like to say here in Texas, howdy all y'all, because today is a really special show for me in many ways. I wake up and some days are much better than others. This is one of those really, really good days. Why? Well, you just saw in the previous slide, it's my 125th presentation here on Talking Heads on the USA Radio and TV network. That to me is a great accomplishment. I'm super happy with that. I got another show that I did 100 shows on that here recently, but Talking Heads is a show that I get a chance to do by myself, talk about the things that I want to talk about. And it kind of encompasses a lot of things. We're going to be talking a little bit about change. My topic today is health habits for 2025, start today. And so as we're looking at the show, Talking Heads, we can find it on Amazon Fire. We can find it in E360 TV, Zizzle, YouTube, as always. But it's a show that when I get a chance to talk about health and wellness, great. Another real niche that I love to talk about is our subconscious mind, because that's super critical too, because 95% of what we do happens inside this brain up here. And so today we get a chance to combine both of them, and for the benefit of down the road. Now, with 2025 happening very, very shortly, why not start today? Why wait till January 1st and say, I got another New Year's resolution. I failed at the last 25. Once you start getting in that realm, you're never going to accomplish anything. So why don't we go ahead and load up the slides here, get that started real quickly, and we'll get going here with on. And they loaded up very quickly. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, there we go. Back up one. Okay, disclaimer. I talk about health and wellness, but I've never been in the medical field, never been in the pharmaceutical field. I fell in love with chemistry way back in high school, got a degree in it, got an invitation to Vietnam before I could become a chemist. But regardless, I got 5 academic degrees. I love my chemistry degree. I use it all the time, literally on a daily basis. What's going on here? I think that's okay. But what I do nowadays, based on a solution I worked on for my wife when she was having chemotherapy for breast cancer, is I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. I look for cause and effect relationships. Treat a cause, fix a problem. Treat symptoms, and you'll always be treating symptoms. But the problem with treating symptoms, and it's a big one, is the fact that the cause hasn't been fixed. That cause is still under everything, going 100 miles an hour, and you don't know whether the tumor is getting bigger. What you don't know, because all you're treating is a symptom. So this show is educational and awareness for what could be an improvement in some aspect of your health. I really love the area of longevity and aging, and that's where I tend to concentrate. So right now, because 2025 is literally around the corner, let's look at something that can improve our lives, better health in 2025. Now, I have this book here, No Matter What You Can Do It. Wrote it several years ago, and it really gets into why does the brain work the way it does? Why does our subconscious? Dr. Maxwell Malt wrote Psychocybernetics back about 1960, I think. He was a cosmetic surgeon, and literally 19 out of 20 of his patients they saw the new them, they get something fixed, and they were super happy. But you have a person that went in, had a scar removed, had something fixed, and even though they looked perfect to everyone else, they saw in a mirror the scar that was removed. It literally did not leave them. It was mentally scarring, even though you couldn't physically see it. And it bothered him a lot. And so he started a field called psychocybernetics. And that is, how does the subconscious mind work? Why do those people see something that's been erased? Because it's so incredibly indented in their brain, they can't not see it. But when I'm looking at 2025 and I want to start better health, I want to get a healthier me, that means I really need to change my habits. I need to change my lifestyle, because my lifestyle is really and truly the thing that creates my health. And Dr. Maxwell Maltz, again, he gives me the solution in the brain, but I still need other things on top of that. It's just not only the subconscious mind. There's other aspects. So I look around and there's all sorts of people. I've seen Bob Proctor talk about change your paradigm. Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. Jack Canfield, the Success Principles. I love Jeff Olson. He talks about the slight edge. We'll talk a little bit about that down the road. But you could literally find another 25 people, and they all have their solution to make change, to give you a new habit. And literally, they all have validity. Some people do not change easily. So I usually start with a why. Why do you do what you do? What are your habits? You're in a paradigm that you get up every day this time. You eat that for breakfast. You have your cup of coffee. You read the paper. You get in the car. You drive to work. Whatever it may have. You have habits. You come home from work. You grab a beer, sit down, watch TV, unwind. Whatever it is, we have habits. Well, why do we do what we do? And if you listen to Anthony Robbins, it could be fear of pain or success. We have basic human needs. You got to get these things. I have to work 2 jobs. I don't have a choice. It could be rewards. Again, Anthony Robbins. It could be your return on your investment. I invest this much time, I get that much back. Yeah, I'm kind of motivated by that. It could be traditions. What's expected by others. In other words, my grandfather was a dentist. My father was a dentist. They expect me to be a dentist, or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be in that field. It could be a lawyer. It could be a farm worker. It could be almost anything. But expectations are set by other people, and expectations are the lifeblood of the subconscious mind. We have certainty. In other words, I do this, guaranteed to happen. In other words, I went to Las Vegas and played craps, and I knew that if I rolled this, boom, every other time after that, well, that's certainty. So there's no risk. Well, some of us have need for achievement, need for affiliation, need for power. We look at, okay, it's a 50-50 end result. Maybe if a 60-40, that would put me over. Maybe if I had this degree, that would get me in that particular college or profession. Love. Oh my goodness. How many people do things for love? It's just unbelievable. You find that person, you're infatuated. It looks like a perfect match for you. And hopefully it goes both ways. And you'll change almost anything in your life. But beware. Let's say that there's something about the other person you don't like. You say, well, I'm going to marry that person anyway. I'll change them down the road. Nope, not going to happen. Those habits are there. They're not going to change. You're going to have to accept it on the front end, or you're going to have a lot of problems down the road. So when you love someone, accept everything. People will change over time. They will accommodate a lot of things. But to make things change, that's a very strong motivator. Our values, our health, sometimes I can't lift more than 15 pounds. That limits everything I can do. Lots of things happen in our lives. So our habits, our lifestyle, all have some genesis or multiple genesis of things that cause things to be happen. So why do we do what we want to do? We all have our own reason or reasons. Well, what do we want to change? Well, I think for our particular discussion here, we're looking at 2025, 3 months away. And I'm saying, I want better health. Well, if I want better health, I need to make some lifestyle choices. So that is my primary focus of this particular program. I need to change my mindset. I need to change my lifestyle choices. So what are we talking about lifestyle? We talk about this term, throw it out there. I'm not going to say every single time we get together and talk about health, but it certainly permeates just about every aspect of your life. So if I'm looking at sleep, good quality sleep, exercise, a variety of different kinds of exercises, a diet, something that supports me nutritionally uh, and calorically. My expectations, again, talking to my subconscious mind, lots of aspects of our lifestyle that we can address and make changes to. Now, Jim Rohn is famous for saying, it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. If I'm doing something and I come home and every day I pick up a beer, knock off the top, sit back, well, that's easy to do because I do it every day. But is it just as easy to come home and not have a beer? Yeah, it is, but that's breaking a habit. What about taking that? Maybe I need a supplement. So every day I'm taking a supplement and all of a sudden I run out. I don't have any. It's now been 3, 4, 5 days. I now have 4 or 5 days that I haven't done something. That can just as easily start a new habit. I'm sure many of you have started something, and for whatever reason, something disrupted it. It doesn't matter what the reason, good, bad, indifferent, it got disrupted. And without that consistency, we have a new habit. But when I'm looking at consistency for my health, I'm looking at hydration. We got to keep our bodies properly watered. I'm looking at the foods I choose and when I eat them. I'm looking at exercise. I'm looking at a lot of things, but I need to have consistency. It's something easy to do, something easy not to do. And we don't want to get in that not to do unless it's one of those things we want to get rid of. Okay, wants and needs versus intentions and expectations. So I want this, I need this. That may be great. But what are you talking to? You're talking to the conscious mind, which has no control over your life. You need to be talking to the subconscious mind. That's where the expectations, the intentions control what we do. So if I expect to do something, that's a much stronger input to our mindset than I need this, because the need just goes on by. The subconscious mind doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand. But our subconscious mind literally controls 95% or more of everything that we do, the actions we take, those habits we develop, those lifestyle choices that we see over and over and over again. So from us here today, we're awareness and education, what works and why. And like I say, whether it's Tony Robbins or Jack Canfield or others, many people, YouTube, books, etc., they have solutions. Everyone's different. Maybe your solution isn't an Anthony Robbins one. Maybe it's more of Bob Proctor. It doesn't matter. But as we're developing things, you'll find, hey, I did that and that worked, or I did that and it didn't work. Well, let's try to capture those things that work and work on them. And the biggest thing that I think it's truly amazing in the subconscious mind is that our subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination. So in reality, well, every time on January 1st, I want to lose 25 pounds and I make it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and maybe I lost 3 pounds, 4 pounds, and then everything goes off. It's not worth it. I might as well worry about it next year. Well, that's a failure. And the subconscious mind has a prime objective of not allowing any injury, anything bad to happen to you. That's keeping you safe. So all of a sudden now you have registered in your brain from 25 years ago, I failed at a diet. Not a big deal. There wasn't anything to compare it to. But next year and next year and next year, I fail at that same diet. I have the same input. I have the same want, need, but I failed. And when you start doing that, these things in the brain start adding up. And all of a sudden, 2025, I want to lose 25. Man, I may make it 30 pounds this year. What's happening is the brain sees your your want, your need. And it says, nope, you failed too many times. I'm not going to let you fail. And it will sabotage you at every instance you can think of in order not to lose weight, but more importantly, not to fail in the attempt that you're taking. So it's a real thing. But let's say that I imagine February, March, April, May, June, another 10, 11 times. And I really spent a lot of time imagining how great my life is because I lost 25 pounds, what I look like on stage, what I feel like, what I can do, all sorts of things that I can do to imagine that weight loss. Well, now all of a sudden I have one reality of January failing, but 11 imaginations of success. Over time, this pile of failures and this pile of successes are going to be even. And when they're even, your subconscious mind can't rely on the archive of experiences and say, okay, do I help them or hurt them? Do I let this happen or not? And so when you get to there, now all of a sudden I get a few more experiences on imagination, on success, and I want to do something. Well, you succeeded before. I'm going to do everything I can to help you succeed. And so from a psychological perspective, that emotional ability of your subconscious mind to help you, we have the ability to imagine success in what we want. When you look at Dr. Maxwell Maltz, our brain looks at the same thing two different ways. If I said, I failed, okay, I failed. So what? It's a test, no big deal. But if I look at it and I say, I'm a failure because I failed, now all of a sudden that I am as an affirmation is telling my body, I am a failure. It's the perspective that your subconscious mind sees. That's why affirmations are so strong as far as being able to help you. Okay, moving right along here. I love Alice in Wonderland, the book. You know, the Alice gets to a fork in the road, and the Cheshire Cat's up there in the tree, and Alice says, well, where do you go? Which road do I take? And the Cheshire Cat says, well, where are you going? And she says, I don't know. And the Cheshire Cat says, well, it doesn't matter what road you take, it'll get you there. So no matter what road you take, you're going to get to your destination if you don't know what your destination is. And part of our problem is that we want a healthier, happier lifestyle in 2025. We know what our destination is. We're no longer at a junction in our road path that we don't know where we're going to go. We know where we want to go. So we have comfort zones that kind of prevent us from getting there, that we need to change. We need to find out what they are. But we can do that by changing our mindset. And that's the whole purpose of this next 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks. We're going to have distractions. We're going to have to make choices. And we need to know, what do we want to do? But more importantly, frame it as an expectation. If we do that, and our world's going to become a lot easier. So I'm going to propose probably next week. I'm starting to work on it now. In fact, I took my first set of measurements today. But if we have a dashboard like in your car, and in that dashboard, it tells us what we really and truly want to measure. What are those things I need to keep my eye on all the time to succeed in 2025 with my new health life? Well, if I look at the slight edge says little changes, that easy to do, easy not to do, that Jim Rohn talks about. If I have a slight change in what I'm doing, but I'm consistent in it, and I'm doing it all the time, that slight change with consistency over time can yield exceptionally huge results. So let's pick something. Now, for me, I got a couple. I think most people pick weight. Well, weight is dependent on so many aspects. We've talked about weight under our weight management and under fat management programs here on Talking Heads. Go back into YouTube, pull those up. 6 or 8 weeks worth of talking about what causes you to get extra fat, what causes you to put weight on, why can't we take it off? But for me, weight is there, but I want to change it by another mechanism. But additionally for me, I have a blood pressure issue. I need to get something under that one. But more importantly, I have a certain amount of visceral fat, and I can measure it pretty accurately, consistently. And if I can get rid of my visceral fat, my weight will come down. My life will be a lot better. My blood pressure more than likely will come down too. So I'm focusing on visceral fat. That is my one thing. I've never focused on it before. I don't have a failure history with it, but it's something that I can measure and something that there's probably 10, 12, 15 things that affect visceral fat one way, shape, or form. And I'll be talking about those. But so if I look back, what's changed over the past 5 years, 10 years? Well, I used to run a lot, long distances. Things changed. I don't run that much anymore. I switched over just before COVID to running 100-yard dashes, 10, 15 of them at a time, each one faster. So I changed from long distance running to sprints. Okay, with COVID and some other issues, haven't done that recently. So things change. What you used to do and you're not doing today, it's an awareness issue. Do we want to go back and start doing long distance running? Maybe, maybe not. It sort of depends on a lot of things. But let's find out what we did successfully, and maybe we want to have those same habits back. Our family history predicts a lot of things in our lives. That's why you go into your doctor and it says, okay, well, tell me about your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your sisters, whatever. Family history, those genes can have an impact in your life. I love to have an accountability partner, somebody that every week, Sunday night, I'm going to send you a text, an email, and say, this is my success for the week. When I'm accountable to somebody else, whether it's my wife, a good friend, whatever, now I have an expectation that I have to bear my soul, success or failure, to someone else. That's an embarrassing thing. I don't want my subconscious mind to be embarrassed. So I feel the need, the want, the expectation to get things done. I want to eliminate a lot of negative language in my life. We'll talk about that down the road a lot more. My stress perceptions, what bothers me the most? Is it my spouse? Is it my boss? Is it my job? Is it the weather? There's things that bother you. We can't control most of them. I can't control my boss, can't control my spouse. I can't control the weather. I can't control my job. Control what you can control, but understand where your stress is coming from. Because sometimes you can just as easily void out that stressor by understanding what it is, which is why we're talking about here awareness and education. What's the easiest thing that we have that we can make a change? Slight change, easy to do, easy not to do. That's what we're looking to do start. So as we're putting together this dashboard, what really and truly drives my end result? I want to lose weight. Well, is there something else that will cause weight loss if I concentrate on it that I don't have a failure history with? Maybe I want to change. I want to lose 3 inches around my gut. Well, maybe I don't have a failure history with fat loss. There are many ways of looking at things. So they talk about, particularly in networking, the big why. If you have your why is big enough, you can accomplish anything. Well, it turns out that if you're a high achiever, that's probably true. But if you're just a medium achiever or a low achiever, nope. The big why doesn't mean anything. It's just, I'm not going to worry about it. So the big why, again, some people react to it very, very well. Others don't. If I'm looking at things that can help me, I mean, I got an egg timer right here. I use it fairly often. I have something I need to get done in the next hour. Yeah, put 60 minutes in there, boom. And I work on this thing and then ding, 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 ding. Okay, there's my hour. Okay, I can need another half hour, put 30 more minutes in. I can do my time management using an egg timer. But if I don't have something that zings periodically, I find that procrastination, I get something I need to do. I need to call this person. It's been on my to-do list for 2 weeks. Why can't I just call a simple person on a 1-minute phone call? I don't know. Too many other things out there, regardless. So one thing I believe in very, very much as far as making changes in my life is a thing called emotional freedom techniques, EFT. A lot of people, let's just say weight loss. There are people that have lost 100 pounds of weight with nothing but EFT. You're doing this tapping with the mantra and you go through this thing over and over again. I find that when I use EFT, I need a minimum of 8 minutes to make some change in whatever I want to get done that day. And with that, I think what I'm going to do is call it quits at Emotional Freedom Techniques. And we will pick it up there next week. We'll get ready to end the show today. So with that, our health habits for 2025 starting today. Please join me next Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Time on talking heads on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. And I look forward to helping you get out to a brand new, successful, healthy start in 2025. Take care, y'all. Bye now.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you. 5 little-known secrets for dementia caregivers with Tracy Cram-Perkins.
Hi there, I am Tracy Cram-Perkins, the host of the Dementia Home Care Show here on USA Global TV and Radio. I am also the author of the book of the same name. And you'll see this QR code. This is for an extended version of the same talk. So if you want to see the full hour-long version, feel free to scan the code and go to that website. Stick with me. We'll talk about 5 little-known secrets to make it a little easier to do dementia caregiving. What you're seeing on the left-hand side is a healthy aged brain, age 55 and above. The one you're seeing on the right is an Alzheimer's disease brain. It is in moderate disease. It is shrinking. It has holes in it. The memories that were in those holes no longer exist. When you're learning something, let's say in kindergarten, you learn how to tie your shoelace. Well, then by the time you're in 2nd grade, your brain remembers that information from tying the shoelace and applies it so you can learn more quickly how to tie more complex knots. So the brain is hardwired to do this for us. So it helps us learn faster so it doesn't take us long to acquire knowledge. The brain is looking for the information and they pick the closest to wherever that hole is. Let's look at some tips that we can use to help do that.
These are 5 simple tools you can use as a dementia caregiver to help your loved one. The whiteboard is a useful tool in recording the day's activities and the answers to repetitive questions. The calendar clock is a very useful tool to orient your loved one on the day, the date, and the time, and remind them of upcoming appointments. The communication cards are a great tool to bridge the gap when they can no longer tell you what's wrong. And then there's the pill minder, for when your loved one is still able to take pills but needs prompting. The final tool I want to share with you is the memory book. It tells your loved one's story. It's a great tool for distraction, redirection, also as a conversation starter, and telling you where they are in their story so you know how to answer their questions.
Music is probably the most powerful tool in your toolbox after laughter. Music is a way to maintain connection. It sticks with your brain longer than any other thing, including reading. When you're having an issue with somebody, you can play their favorite music if you move them to another room, something that makes them happy, or you can start singing songs together from their childhood. These are some of my favorite books for caregivers. My show airs on the third Tuesday of every month, and you can view past episodes on YouTube. Thank you, everyone.
This program has been brought to you in part by Tracy Cram Perkins. Connect with her and order her book at tracycramperkins.com. For more information about Alzheimer's disease, support resources, and how you can help, contact the Alzheimer's Association at 1-800-272-3900 or visit their website at www.alz.org. They offer 24/7 helpline support and a wealth of information to assist you and your loved ones.
We face daily cyber risks, spending over 7 hours of screen time, including 4.5 hours on mobile phones. This convenience comes with significant dangers, with cybercrime costs predicted to exceed $10.5 trillion by 2025. In 2023 alone, seniors lost over $3.4 billion to cybercrime. Our goal is to make social engineering concepts of cybersecurity easier to understand. We work with business teams, senior living facilities, investment companies, and educational institutions, both individually and in groups. We offer real-life examples to help you recognize and prevent attacks, with sessions available both in person, in selected regions, and remotely. Schedule your training session, or to learn more, contact us today. Call us at 847-845-9360. Email us at info@cybersecurityeasy.com. Protect your team and family with cybersecurityeasy.com.
My name is Dr. Felix Kravitz, and I am the founder of cybersecurityeasy.com, LLC. We live in a world full of vulnerabilities and cyber risks. We spend almost 4.5 hours a day on our mobile phones. It's over 7 hours of screen time daily when including computer use. We often forget that this convenience comes with risks. Published data predicts that the cost of cybercrime will exceed $10.5 trillion in 2025. These numbers encompass not only businesses, but also each one of us, including our children and our parents. In 2023, the FBI reported over $3.4 billion lost by seniors aged 60 and older. Cybersecurityeasy.com LLC's initiative is to massively support the community by providing cyber safety coaching and improving social engineering awareness. Our goal is to make social engineering concepts of cybersecurity easier to understand. We work with business teams, seniors, and educational institutions, both individually and in groups. We cover various topics from phone phishing attacks to AI-generated voice cloning, robocalls, password protection, and more using life examples. Talk to us today. Call us at 847-845-9360 or email us at info@cybersecurityeasy.com.